Okay, so now we're going to do the wing fillets, which are just these pieces that go between the fuselage and the wing. And you can see that piece was just cut out. I colored the edges and then I already started to curve it, give it a slightly convex appearance because it fits right up against the fuselage. And you can't really tell in the picture too much, but there's printed camouflage, and I'm just using that as a way to match it right up to where it's supposed to go. And this is all kind of fiddly, but it doesn't really take that long, and it's not as horrible as it looks. You just have to keep test fitting it and kind of pulling it and tweaking it and getting it into the right location. And he really isn't that big of a deal. You have to remember what it should look like on the real airplane, which again is sort of a dished in appearance because it's there to give you some streamlining and reduce, I guess, parasitic drag between that joint of the wing and the fuselage. And so all I'm doing, although my thumb is in the way and my whole hand is in the way, I'm just trying to use the tweezers to sort of stick it down and get it to start to adhere. I'm using both the demarcation of the camouflage on the paper and also there's a little line that you can't see on the movie against the fuselage printing that shows sort of where the top edge of the fillet butts up against. And so you basically, I'm just trying to get that to be in the right position, and I'm using one of those little round tools with the circular head that comes back in the picture in a second, where I'm trying to, let's see there, it slipped out of place, so I've got to push it back down. I'm using one of those little things to sort of burnish where the glue joint is, and also to use the round portion of it to sort of enhance my concaveness of the surface. So there you get a pretty good view of me moving it up back and forth there so that it kind of reinforces that shape. But it moves around a little bit. It's not perfect in terms of trying to get it to fit exactly. You want to get as close as you can because it won't look nice, but you basically do the best you can, and then you spend a lot of time making sure it looks good. I do some more burnishing, and I take another shape little burnisher and just do the very edges. The front is going to have a whole separate piece, as you'll see here. So I finally got smart and sped this up because this is just more of the same. And you can see I had to actually move it and pull it off and try to push it again. This is all because when I started to put it on, I realized there were parts that weren't quite right. Had to put some extra glue under there and stick it down and just make sure it's as tight and as clean as possible. Now the front part you'll see down there, that's already pre-curved. It's got a bunch of slits cut on either side to make it curve around the front leading edge. And you'll see that once I put this glue on here, that when you add this, all I'm trying to do is match up that camouflage line with the bottom light blue portion, and they fit very, very well. And again, it's a lot of touching and dabbing and trying to make sure things are pretty even. There I'm taking off a little bit of extra glue that showed up that was drying. That's the beauty of keeping these, coating these things with clear acrylic before you put them together, because the glue won't stick that well. It's easy to pull off. And you can see those big holes there. Those I basically ended up squeezing and squashing down into a finite shape so it was almost against the fuselage. And then I use a little bit of paper to fix the very bottom. But that's the basics of the fillet, and they fit pretty well.